Eric Trump, there's something slightly mad, isn't there, about Iowa in January with this weather and yet a big political event. I mean, it just seems crazy.
It's cold. There's no question it's cold, Nigel. But no, it's amazing. I mean, Iowa is really where we first cut our skin in politics. I mean, we came to Iowa not knowing what a caucus is. And a caucus is a very different concept, mainly for your viewers, but certainly for a lot of people in the U.S. And we kind of figured it out and, ended up doing great in 2016. And here we are back. We'll be speaking, the whole family speaking at the caucuses tonight. It's going to be amazing. You literally give a stump speech as to, I'll be speaking as to why my father's better candidates than all of them. And I'm sure I'll have Nikki Haley next to me, or I'll have, DeSantis next to me or somebody. But it's an amazing process. It's part of democracy. And it's, I think we're going to come out of tonight very happy.
It's very real, isn't it? I mean, in terms of democratic participation, it really is a very exciting thing. And certainly from a British perspective, we think, wow, you guys in America really get the chance to get involved.
Well, it's amazing because you really take a heartland state, and obviously because it's first in the nation on the Republican side, really the candidates come down, they descend for 2 months ahead of time in the state, and it's really a kitchen table, I want you to meet my whole family, I want you to meet our neighbors, and that's how you really, get people's vote. And my father had always tremendous approval ratings here, what he did for farmers. This is obviously a big farm area, in the nation, big corn, ethanol, a lot of other things, but what he did for agriculture in this country is second to none for any president. And, the people of Iowa love him. And I've been going all over the state, and everywhere I've gone, I've had tremendous, tremendous support. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people show up everywhere, and there's tremendous love. And, we've got real problems in the world. You probably just saw that one American ship just got missiled today off of the Middle East. And you see what's happening in Russia and the Ukraine. You see what's happening in China. And, the Middle East is turning into a powder keg again. You see what's happening in Israel. And economies around the world are faltering, which is very, very scary. You've got a lot of bad actors around the world, and then you see kind of domestic issues, which is people want our country back. People want patriotism. They want strong leadership. They want somebody who will be a cheerleader for a nation. They want the American Constitution to be as strong as ever. They don't want to see 6'5" men swimming in women's sports in this country. And you've got this kind of convergence of two issues, which is what some people feel is almost the decline under weak leadership on one side, and then so many social issues in this country coming together. And I think it's propelling my father in ways it's almost never seen before, because everybody knows exactly what he stands for, and so how strong he's been for the United States of America.
Yeah, I mean, I think the border issue perhaps typifies all of it, doesn't it? And I mean, even the mayor of New York, who's a Democrat, is now saying things that maybe your father would say about what's happening to New York. So I can see all those things playing for him.
I was in Norway this summer, and I remember somebody telling me, I think we'll have 25,000, immigrants that will come into this country, and that's an awful amount of people. And I'm sitting there saying, that's a lot of people for a country that size. I'm sitting there saying, we might have 15 to 20 million this year. I mean, that's almost the size of the state of New York, right? I mean, these are massive, massive numbers. And immigration's a real problem, especially when it's a different kind of immigration now. You have people coming from all over the world speaking all different types of language, and you have a lot of animosity toward America and frankly, the UK and the entire West. We're in the same bucket together. And we don't know who those people are and what problems they would possibly want to cause. And, my father has a massive heart, as does everybody in our family. We want great legal immigration. We want strong systems, but we also want to know who's coming into our country. We need to know the names and whether or not these people are going to cause problems, and whether or not there are terrorists among them. And we've caught terrorists coming in across the southern border. You can't just have an open border. It's causing real problems for this country. And the people of this nation are incredibly upset by it, and the current administration is doing absolutely nothing about it. I think on purpose, and that's sad to say.
No, I mean, Biden is a very weak president. He's clearly not physically up to the job or mentally up to the job. Do you think he will still be the candidate come November?
I don't. If you can't walk up the stairs to Air Force One, if you can't walk across a room, if you can't get off a stage, I mean, I don't mean to disparage, because that's not my style, but that's a rigorous job. I saw what my father went through every single day. It's the toughest job in the world. I mean, these are real decisions every second of every single day, real leadership, and it's tough. And I just don't think he has the stamina. And you look at my father. My father was a great cheerleader for the United States of America. We're the best country. We've got the best economy. We can manufacture better than anybody. We've got the greatest military. We've got the greatest economy. We've got the greatest cities. We're, so on and so forth. Come invest in America. Come build in America. We can build your products. We're not going to let other countries rip us off. We don't have any of that under this president. We don't have a cheerleader under this president, and that's sad, because it creates almost a global void. America is the epitome of power and might, and keeps so many seams together, and all of a sudden you start seeing a weakness. It's really coming from one person.
Well,
and those fissures start to crack, and then
Yeah.
you see instances like what we're seeing in Israel, and you know what the sad thing, Nigel, about the Israel conflict is? If that happened under Donald Trump, he would have been thrown out of office, meaning if our intelligence agencies missed thousands and thousands of people assembling thousands of rockets and taking over outpost camps in Israel and coming across the border in gliders, if our NSA and our CIA missed that, they would have been calling for his resignation the next day. And, during this administration, this was ho-hum, our greatest ally by far in the Middle East gets attacked.
Well, this all started though, didn't it, with the withdrawal from Kabul? You know, Afghanistan goes back to the very people we fought the Taliban for the previous 20 years. That sets off a chain of events with Putin going into Ukraine and many other things.
And then we leave $86 billion.
Kit?
Billion dollars of kit, of the greatest sniper rifles, belt-fed machine guns, Black Hawk helicopters, up-armored Humvees, night vision. We leave $86 billion of that stuff over there. That stuff lasts a very long time. You can use a rifle for a very long time, as you've seen in the Middle East, where they're shooting rifles that were made in the 1950s.
No, but all of that was terrible. Look, I personally believe that Trump's foreign policy was a huge success. I think the Abraham Accords was a giant step forwards in the Middle East. And I kind of think that the timing of the Hamas attack was to try and destroy those Abraham Accords and to destroy Saudi Arabia belatedly coming to it.
People forget, and I remind people of this all the time, but we didn't lose a single serviceman or woman in Afghanistan in the last 18 months of my father's presidency. He crushed ISIS, and he was tough. You mess around and unthinkable things are going to happen to you guys. And he showed that. He showed that with Soleimani. You remember that very well. He showed that with al-Baghdadi. He laid down law, and he created peace in the Middle East. And then obviously the Abraham Accords and what he did with the Golan Heights and what he did to sanction Iran and really deprived them of money. We're energy independent. We're shipping energy to Europe, as you know better than anybody. Now, all of a sudden, the first thing that Biden did when he came into office is we're going to shut down all the American pipelines. We're going to stop drilling. Well, that's great. Now, all of a sudden, we need to start importing energy from Iran and all sorts of countries around the world. We boost the prices. All of a sudden, we give Russia the ability economically to wage war against Ukraine. We boost up Iran so they shoot at our ships with missiles every single day. How dumb and how incompetent could you possibly be? And Americans see this. And listen, Nigel, you know my father very well, very, very, very well. The last job in the world Donald Trump needs is the presidency of the United States. Trust me, at Mar-a-Lago, playing golf,
Absolutely,
flying around, hanging out with his grandkids. Trust me, he'd be living a much better life than getting indicted every single day for nonsense because they want to weaponize the entire system. Every single one of us, we get subpoenaed every day. We get this, we get that. We take arrows every single day. My father would live a substantially better life not doing this. Very different from the other candidates who doing this makes them live a better life than they are. Donald Trump's better life is not in politics. And he does it every single day because he loves this country. He loves the Western world. He believes in it, and he really believes that if we falter, this globe has real problems. And I give him a tremendous amount of credit. He's a brave man who has shouldered more than any person in the world should ever have to, all for democracy and freedom and our way of life, your way of life. And I think tonight we'll be celebrating those achievements. I really do. I think he'll be rewarded.
You feeling good about tonight?
I really do believe that he'll be rewarded for the nonsense that he's been put through, whether it's this fake Russia hoax that was funded by Hillary Clinton and many others, whether it was the first time he was impeached over garbage, the second time he was impeached over garbage, what they tried to do to his Supreme Court justices. And then he comes out of power. And what do? All right, they weaponize attorney generals around the country in far left districts in this nation. They weaponize judges. They weaponize, district attorneys. And they go after him ruthlessly. They go after his family. They don't do that to Hunter Biden, who received tens of millions of dollars from, reportedly China and Romania and Ukraine and so many things. No, they don't go after them. Grandchildren that were reportedly getting money, flowing through to them. What products are they selling? You know what we do. You've been to Turnberry. You've been to all of our hotels.
We love Turnberry.
You've been to the golf courses. You know what we do.
Yeah.
What was Hunter Biden doing? Everybody knows the answer to that question, but they don't prosecute that because there's a dual system of justice. And I also think the American people, and probably the entire world, but mainly the American people really see that, and they're thankful that despite all of that, he never stops charging for it.
So is he back? Is he back in the White House in January of next year?
100%.
100%?
100%. I really, this country needs him. Our republic needs him. Our family structure in this country needs him. We're losing family. We're losing God, organized religion. We're losing our economy. Inflation is outpacing wage growth. People's quality of life is diminishing. They're working longer hours, harder jobs. We need Donald Trump back, all while you have all those external threats from all around the world. I truly believe that, first of all, he was the best president to the UK.
He actually liked us, unlike this president who doesn't like us at all.
Well, we have a lot of property over there, and he spends a tremendous amount of time building great golf courses and hotels over there.
He loves it.
He loves you, and we love you, and I spend a tremendous amount of time. In fact, I'll be over there next week, but he'll be back. He'll make America great again, better than it's ever been, and I think it's going to start tonight. I think we're going to have an amazing night, and it's going to be a fun road for the next, however many months, 11 months, and whatever it is, but it's almost 11 months.
I'll be here for the whole journey.
We'll have a great time together.
As I have been right from the start. Thank you.
Thanks, Nigel.